JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 23rd of July 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts that we looked at this morning, just to see how everything's kind of getting along. But before we do that, as always guys, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so also just before we jump into the charts, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here and on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now let's jump into the charts. Another quick update here on the German index, the DAX, and here, to be honest, not much is happening today. I mean, it is trading in a positive territory for now. It is above. Well, actually it's not really above, it's actually around yesterday's levels. So basically we can see that for the past kind of 3 days the index kind of is trading a little bit on the flat side, and it's struggling to overcome this 13,236 level that I mentioned previously, and that's basically the high of the 24th of February. Now in order to aim for some higher levels, we need to see a nice good push above that barrier before kind of we could aim for some yeah, as I said, some higher levels. Again, we would like to also see a nice push, a nice daily close above this area, and this way maybe more buyers could then see this as a good opportunity to step in, and yep, then we could drive this one, or we could see them driving this one towards the low of the 21st of February near the 13,500 level. So keep your eyes on that one. Again, for now guys, the index seems to be stuck here slightly below the 13,236 zone. However, although maybe this could be seen as a problematic one, but overall, as you can see, it's still trading above this upside support line taken from the low, the 19th of March. So yep, as long as it kind of stays above this upside line, then there is still a chance for the bulls to step in somewhere around here, even if we see a bit of a correction lower. Now jumping into NASDAQ 100 now. The index yesterday closed slightly in the positive territory. We can see that and let me just quickly jump into the cash index. We can see that the cash index is currently balancing at around 10,862 territory. So basically not far from yesterday's close. To be honest, what I was saying previously, that in a way for us to maybe consider some lower levels here on this one, or at least maybe a move for a larger correction to the downside. Yep, we would like to see a daily close below this 10,843 territory, which is marked by the high of the 10th of July. But we didn't really kind of get a strong move below that area. The price continues to balance around here. So for now, probably we'll be very careful here and remain cautious, I would say, from the very near-term perspective, because in a way, if we would like to maybe get a little bit more comfortable with higher levels, we would like to see at least a push above the yesterday's high here, and that one was near Let me just quickly mark that on the chart. That one was near 11,017 zone, so a nice good pop above could in a way open the door towards higher levels, but of course we need to be careful of the all-time high here that was reached on the 13th of July, and that's near the 11,069 zone. Of course, if that gets broken, then yes, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and higher levels could be met. But again, at this point, let's be very careful. We had already a nice decent rally here. Let's see if this index here is not going to start forming somewhat of a possible double top here, but again, too early to talk about that. For us to consider such an idea, first of all, we would need to see a break of this upside support line taken from the low end of the 23rd of March, and of course the so-called neckline, which is roughly around the 10,485-86 zone, roughly around here, and then yes, lower levels then could be met. But again, that's a bit of maybe getting ahead of myself here. First, of course, let's see how it's going to behave near this the high of the 10th of July, near the 10,843 zone, and if it continues to provide support, then we could see maybe this one pushing to the upside. However, to get a little bit more comfortable, as I said, we need to see at least a push above the current highest point of this week, near the 11,017 zone. So let's keep an eye on that one. Jumping into DXY, so the dollar index drifted lower initially today, but as you can see, it started reversing back to the upside. It didn't really quite reach the lowest point of March here, near the 94.65 level. In a way, it kind of fell shy of just a few points of reaching that, but don't get me wrong, we still have a full US session to go through, so we'll keep an eye on it, and just in case this suddenly starts reversing back down. This was my initial target, and what I was saying previously, that in a way, first I would like to see a test of this area, and then would like to see if actually it provides support again. If it does, then we may see a bit of a rebound here. In order to kind of consider maybe slightly higher levels on this one, we would I would prefer to see this one pushing back above the 95.72 territory, which is the lowest point of June. And if previously that area acted as a very nice area of support, now it could become this little area of resistance to keep an eye on, because if that gets broken, then the dollar index could drift a little bit higher. But of course, the upside here might get limited near this downside line taken from the high of the 23rd of March. So this move higher could be classed as a temporary correction. But as I said, in order to consider that correction here to the upside, ideally I would like to see a push above the 95.72 barrier first, and then consider that scenario. But for now, let's like I said, we're not very far from this March low, so let's see if we can actually eventually test this area. It would be quite interesting to see that. For now, everything's kind of still leaning a little bit more to the downside, but again, like I said, for now, let's be very careful here. Gold. So gold had a nice rally to the upside, and here, for example, the commodity managed to reach the area today near the 1888 territory, 88 level, and here it found resistance and started drifting lower. Now, if we look at this daily candle today, I mean, if we can see that it's already kind of getting pushed almost to kind of virtually unchanged kind of mode, I would say, or it could become, at the end of the day, could become the virtually unchanged, and here it could also form a possible shooting star here. So of course, such a scenario, such a formation could be seen as a possible kind of corrective one, but again, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, let's see where this day is going to end. But in a way, from the very short-term perspective, the commodity did already have a nice rally here to the upside, so maybe a bit of a small correction to the downside could be possible. Of course, we can keep an eye on this little short-term upside support line. Let me just put this one on the chart. So we can keep an eye on this little short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 5th of June, and even if we see a move
lower here, this up until this upside line, everything could be seen as a temporary correction. But if this upside line starts getting violated, well, I mean, then yep, lower levels could be met here. We could see this one drifting, maybe drifting further down here towards, maybe back towards that 1800 level. But again, for now, let's see how today's daily candle is going to form. If we're going to see a nice shooting star here, maybe we could see a bit of a correction here to the downside. So keep your eyes on down. In order to aim for some higher levels, of course, you need to see a push above the current high here near this 1888 level, and then yes, a break above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could be joining in. But still, don't get me wrong, we're not far from the 1921 level here, which is gold's all-time high. And let me just jump into a monthly chart here. You can see that that was reached that was reached in 2011, and we're just kind of let's say shy of around $32 away from hitting that level. So again, could be an interesting level to watch, but in order to consider that, we would like to see at least a push above the 1888 zone, which is the current highest point of this week. So keep your eyes on down. Now, jumping into Litecoin, here I've looked at this one a while ago, or should I say last week, and basically the crypto continues to trade here in this kind of little range, I would say, roughly between the 39 level here on the downside and the 50.1315 level on the upside. So in other words, it is kind of stuck here overall, but from the short-term perspective, you can see that it managed to kind of rebound from this little level right here. And let me just quickly mark this on the chart. So it managed to find support around here near the 40.90 level, from where it started pushing back to the upside. Yesterday it overcame this 100-day EMA, and today we're seeing a nice test of this current highest point of July near the 45.93 zone. It failed to overshoot it even, and as you can see, the bears kind of pushed the price back down a little. However, the price still remains above the 100-day EMA here, so maybe some buyers could see this as a positive sign. However, probably more of those buyers could be joining in here if we get a break above the 45.93 level, and because such a move would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and the next target here could be around the 200-day EMA, or even better, the 50.13 mark, which is the highest point of June. But again, like I said, let's wait for that confirmation break first, and then we could examine these slightly higher levels. Jumping into AUDJPY, I talked about this one yesterday, and basically I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this barrier right here, the highest point of June, near the 76.79 zone. And as you can see, yesterday the pair failed to kind of close this daily candle above it, and yep, today we're seeing correction lower, and well, I mean, even if it drifts a little bit lower here, don't get me wrong, we're still trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 2nd of April, and in a way, as long as this upside line stays intact, there is still a possibility for the bulls to drive this one higher. But if you're more on the cautious side, wait for a nice break above this 76.79 zone, and then kind of aim for some higher levels, because a nice good break above it, and if we see the daily candle also staying above it, kind of all this kind of would confirm, first of all, it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yep, then we could see maybe more buyers joining in here. But again, for now, this level here, the 76.79, seems to be proving to be as an important one, and as an important resistance, so let's see if the bulls have enough steam to kind of drive this pair above that area. And as I said, if we get a break above this area, then potentially maybe more buyers could join in. In terms of the downside, as I said, a break of this upside line kind of could open the door towards lower levels, especially if the rate also falls below the 75.16 zone, and then yes, at the same time the rate could be placed below this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line. And as you can see previously, for example, this 21-day EMA acted as a very nice area of support. So a nice daily close below it could, in a way,
kind of signal further declines here. But again, for now, any kind of pullback, any throwback here could be seen still as a temporary correction. Now, GBP Aussie, now this one is an interesting one because, as you can see, the pair drifted lower yesterday. The pair did break this 1.7794 level, which is the low of the lowest point of September 2019, and it did pierce that level through, but as you can see, the bulls really managed to kind of lift this one back above it, and the daily candle remained above this level, and today we're seeing some positivity here, and the rate is getting pushed higher. However, it's currently getting a hold up near this the lowest point of June, around the 1.7868 territory. Now this area of support, which previously acted as a fantastic area of support here, then now is taking the role of resistance. So in a way, if we get a nice daily move here above, and if we get a nice daily close above this barrier, then maybe there could be a possibility to see some higher levels. But for now, it is at a very tricky spot. Don't get me wrong. Still there is a chance for this one to drift lower, but in order for us, let's say, to get excited with lower areas, another drop below this 1.7794 territory, the one that I've mentioned just right now, could do the trick for more sellers, and yep, we could then aim for further declines. But until then, as you can see, for now, the pair is trying to recover somewhat. But in order to kind of aim for that maybe a slightly larger recovery, a nice daily close above this barrier, above the 1.7868 zone, could do the trick for more buyers. Now, US dollar against the South African rand. Now, this one is quite an interesting one. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but the most important thing is that it is. Right now, it is kind of finding good support near this lowest point of June, around the 16.3353 level, and as you can see, the pair drifted lower, but just hit this level perfectly, and today we're seeing a nice rebound from it, and we're seeing a move away back above the 200-day EMA. So in a way, some might say that it could be seen as a nice reversal signal. However, don't get me wrong, we're still trading below this downside line here, taken from the high of the 24th of April. So in a way, this move higher could still be seen as a temporary correction. So that's why be very careful with that, guys. Yes, if it starts climbing above the 16.80 territory, somewhere roughly around here, then yep, it could travel further north. However, be very careful near this downside line. And of course, with the downside, we would like to see a nice strong move below the 16.3353 level here, which is the lowest point of June. And then, yes, such a break lower here would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and lower levels could be met. And finally, EURUSD. So this morning I talked about this one, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this barrier right here, the 1.1570 zone, roughly around there, which is around the highest point, near the highest point of September, sorry, not September, but near the highest point of 2019. So initially the pair was trading above it, and yesterday we saw the pair trading above it, but kind of didn't really move far from that level. And today we're seeing a move back down, so basically correction lower, and for now we'll take it easy, because in a way we had already a nice rally here, so maybe a bit of a correction here could be possible. We'll keep an eye on the highest point of March of this year, around the 1.1496 zone, somewhere roughly around here. So in a way, the pair could drift a little bit lower if this area provides decent support, or at least if this upside support line provides decent support, then yep, the bulls still have a chance to kind of jump in and drive this one back to the upside. However, again, let's see see how this day is going to end here, and maybe we'll get a bit more action tomorrow, and we'll see what it can do tomorrow. But again, for now, all eyes are on this highest point of 2019 near the 1.1570 zone. If the daily candle stays below this today, then we could consider maybe a bit of a correction here going into tomorrow. But again, let's pick up on this one tomorrow. Let's see how it's going to perform tonight, and yep, we'll see what the day has installed for us tomorrow. Now guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.